Hi, seventh graders. It was brought to my attention that I did not have the notes for 6.3, the percent equation, so I thought I would try to post it in a video and see how it goes. The percent equation, very simply, is A equals P percent times W, where A is the part, P is the percent, and W is the whole. So anytime you have an equation, you can just plug what you're given and find and solve for the unknown. So in the first example, it says finding a part of a number. And it has what number is 24% of 50. So really you just have to identify the parts here. This, of course, is the percent. This is the whole. Okay, so what you're looking for is the A. So when you have that, A equals 24% of 50. Keep in mind that anytime you have of, that always means multiply, right? When you have of a number, so when you're taking percent of a number, that really just means that you're doing 24% times 50. What you have to remember is that you have to convert to a decimal. And convert the percent to a decimal. And if you remember that, that's simply just moving the decimal place 2 places to the left because you're dividing by 100. So basically you have 24 hundredths times 50. And when you get 24 hundredths, you could do that. You can do it like this, or you could leave it as, you could also, instead of doing a decimal, you could do a fraction if you wanted to. That's the way the book shows it. It's 24 hundredths times 50. You do that when you would have, when you're multiplying by a factor of 100, because here you can cross that out. 50 goes into 50 once, and 50 goes into 100 2 times, and divide up to simplify that. You're going to get 12. If you multiply that out, 24 hundredths times 50, and of course I'm going to put the multiple of 10 on the bottom so I can just drop down the 0. Multiply 5 times 4 to get 20. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. You have 2 decimal places to the right here, so your answer is 12. So either way, you're going to get 12. If you want to leave it as a fraction, when you're multiplying by a multiple factor of 100, you could do that to cross-cancel out the common factors, or you can simply just convert to a decimal and multiply. The next example is finding a percent. So I'll turn the page over here. Finding a percent. And it says 9.5 is what percent of 25? That's the question. So when you're following this, when you have this, you're looking for the P percent. Okay? This is your A, and this is your W. So when you're looking at this, you have basically 9.5 equals 25P, if we want to just use P as the percent. Okay? To isolate the variable, you're going to divide both sides by 25. So you have P percent, and when you do that, you're going to divide up 25 into 9.5. In the book, I'm not going to do the math for you because the answers in the book is 0.38. Now, when you have it as a decimal, you have to convert to a percent. And if you remember that, when you're converting to a decimal to a percent, you're simply moving the decimal over 2 places to the right because you're multiplying by 100. So that's 38%. Now, the percent problem works just fine. I just always remember whenever I'm reading it, I remember just is the percent equals is over of. This is just how I always remember it. So when you're reading it, you have the is over of. So that's one way of looking at it. But the percent problem where you have the A is what percent of 25, that works too. We have A equals P times W. So whatever one works best for you, I suggest you use it. The last example is finding a whole, 5.3, or let's see, finding a whole, example 3. You're going to still approach that. 39 is 52% of what number? Okay. And when you do that, again, here's your P. Okay. And this is your A, and this is your W. So, because remember, your W is always the whole, this is the part. So when you do that, 39 is 52%. Now you're going to want to convert that, okay? 52% times W, or 52W. Put a 0 there. So divide both sides by 52 hundredths. All right. Remember when you're dividing that you can't have a decimal in the divisor. So really when you're dividing up, you're going to do 52 into 3,900. Okay. And you're going to get that it is 75 according to your book. So that the whole is 75. Always check the reasonableness of the answer too. Does it make sense that 39 is 52% of 75? When you think about it, 52% is about half, and 39 is a little bit more than half of 75.